Like this.
We was talking about it though. Talking about when I was driving back, and we were talking about was starting a football little what they call football team or something,
Oh yeah,
football
you had
league or
mentioned,
something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
for these little kids out here, everybody else doing it while we ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? A no cap football team. Of course, y'all wouldn't be called no cap unless y'all want to.
yeah.
But we can sponsor that. But I was telling you that it don't just got to be football though. We need to do something because, like my son, he's not a sports player. My son ain't
Indeed.
into sports, but he
Mm-hmm.
likes to draw. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, especially in the black community,
Mm-hmm.
we like to push our kids to play sports.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like that's the ticket out.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like that's the ticket out, and that's the problem. And when I took my oldest son on the college tours,
Mm-hmm.
and I took him to Kennesaw State, and I thought he was going to go there. I felt like that was going to be the best school for him. Then I took him to Georgia State, and um, and he felt like that was going to be the best school for him. And turned out that he made his decision. But what we learned at Georgia State was the girl, a young sister who was uh the I guess what they call it
Tour guide.
the tour guide. She was telling us about
Yeah.
all the grants and the scholarship that they give, right? And she was like, the problem is you don't know some of the grants and scholarship that you should be applying for. She was like, I applied for the Asian, the Asian grant. She was like,
Mm.
they got money for it. They don't know, you know what I'm saying? They just want you to have this certain criteria, but that's a grant that she got. She was like, it's some grants that you don't even think that you would qualify for, but
Yeah.
apply for them all anyway because you don't know which one you're going to get. And the reason I say that is we program our kids to think sports, especially in our community, to think
Mm-hmm.
sports is the only way out when we have a bunch of young kids that's way more intelligent than just sports. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? That and my son liked it, like I say, like to draw. My older son, good with numbers, but we already programmed and brainwashed the kids. I don't want to say that because it's a lot of good sports players too, but that to think that's the only thing they can do. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But you can do. We got to start training them to say you don't got to be. And I used to tell my kids this all the time. You don't have to play for the team. Try to be the owner of it.
Yeah.
Try to be the
Absolutely.
owner of the team. Use to create. You don't You don't have to be a sports player. You don't have to be a ball player. You don't have to be a doctor or a lawyer. Be what's going to be best suited for you. But we
Mm-hmm.
got to give the kids the opportunity to express their creativity and create their own genius, even if it don't make sense to us. We got to allow them that space and opportunity to create their own genius. Where because we don't know what we can have a Mozart or a Beethoven or a Thomas Edison or a George Washington Carver. We can have any one of these in our presence right now. But if we only limit them to what we think is the gateway or the key out, then we're actually doing a disservice to our kids.
Yeah. So I'll say it really depends on the parenting and
Absolutely.
if the parenting exists, because sometimes based and that's really what you're talking about based on the parenting, it certain things can seem like a way out because of what's being taught or not taught within the home. Also, when you speak about geniuses, um, this also has something to do with the structure of schools themselves, because schools themselves don't always uh, they don't always support the different geniuses of
Right.
an individual. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about saying a person is a genius as far as academics. What I mean is a person's gifts that they have may not come across in an academic setting, but they may have a genius that is theirs, God given, but most schools don't support that. And so even within the school. So then that's like a double whammy, right? Like if in the homes, if those let's say if somebody that's good with writing or good with speaking or good with drawing, right? And if these things are not really supported, they're like, oh, you struggle in math. So
Mm,
since you struggle in math, you're not a good student, right? These things can start to kind of wear and tear on an individual's confidence in their goals. So definitely one thing that can be improved across the board, not just in the homes from parenting, but also within the communities, is holding people accountable to allow and recognize that there are different geniuses and that you want to promote those as well. I'll also say some people's genius happens to be that they are athletically gifted, just like some people's
mhm.
genius happens to be that they are great with math and science. Some people are great with um, musical instruments or choir or whatever it may
Right.
be. Some people are good with agriculture, so it's just different geniuses at work. And but parenting is the most important key. So if you are truly a parent and you are truly parenting, you will not only recognize your child's geniuses, you'll support them, and you'll help introduce them into other areas where they can grow, and help them identify areas of weakness that they can also, with if they care to do so, turn into strengths. So parenting is the key to all that. Don't let don't let a community parent your child. Don't let uh what people think or stereotype. That's a better way to say it. Don't let a stereotype parent your child, because there's Caucasian athletes who come through. There's Asian athletes that come through. I train some individuals because the community I live in, these parents got the bread to support their children, unlike a parent who may not have the bread to support their children that wants to.
Mm,
So now, not only are they supporting their children like that, they are using so much of that money that the kid don't have time to do nothing else. So it's not just in the hood, is my point. You should see some of the schedules. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want nobody to feel like I'm harping on them.
targeting
But
them
some of
right.
the schedules of some of these suburban children, it's way crazier than a kid from the hood, because the parents got the money to keep them in everything.
Right.
No
Right.
breaks.
Yeah. And that can wear a child down too.
That's what
You
I'm
can be
saying. So,
you can be pushing your child into something they really don't want to do, but they're doing it to satisfy the appease the parent.
but there's
Yeah.
also a discipline that comes with sports. There's also a work ethic that comes with sports.
A
There's also
camaraderie.
camaraderie that comes with
Hmm.
sports. So there's
Hmm.
there's benefits to it, just like anything else.